Okay, I went to Lowe's. I bought me one of these weed eaters. It's a Cobalt 40 volt weed eater. Works all right, but the problem with this is if you mow yards and you're a contractor, don't buy this thing because you'll be waiting around to get this thing charged more times than you are actually mowing it. So I bought this, took it out of the box, hooked it up. I thought it was great, but not so great. Right now I'm on my 7th charge, and I got this yard here. Oh, maybe about a 3/4 of an acre. Coming around to the front yard, and right now I'm just kind of walking around the whole place here where I have to mow. Now I got an electric lawnmower. The electric lawnmower is not that bad. I can do this whole yard on 2 charges. If you don't mind taking 2 hours to charge it up between charges, between the time you mow in the yard. When I mow the yard with the electric lawnmower, I probably can go maybe a good hour on a charge. And it takes about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes to charge it up on each time on the lawnmower. And I'll show you that lawnmower here in a minute. Making my way back around here, I'm gonna show you my lawnmower. This is a Cobalt lawnmower. This is 80 volts. What's so weird is I can get more out of this 80 volt one than I can that 40 volt one over there, that weed eater. I can do about 2 charges, maybe 3, depending on how high the grass is. Get maybe 3 charges on there. I say at the most. Sometimes I can do this yard in 2 charges. But like I say, don't expect to come out here and mow this yard in 2 hours, because that's not going to happen like a gas lawnmower. With this, you come out here an hour and 15 minutes and mow when you start, and your battery will go down. Of course, depending on how high the grass is, because the more thickness the grass is and how high the grass is, it's going to run down a lot quicker. But this here will go maybe an hour and a half on a charge. I say maybe an hour, a good hour on a charge, and it's going to take you about 2 hours and 15 minutes to charge this thing up. But if you're a contractor, I recommend don't buy this, because you'll have to buy a whole bay of chargers to charge these things up. And I think the riding lawnmower uses like 6 of these batteries. It goes in these 80 volt batteries here. I think the riding lawnmowers, if I get this out, uses either 6 or 8 of these, the 0 turns. But if I ever get one, I'm gonna try to get one of the same. But I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna leave those alone and just stick with gas, because these things run down too fast. And so like I say on this here, I'll probably get maybe, I probably can do this, if I'm lucky I can do this yard maybe in a day, because maybe an hour 15 minutes to mow the yard. It's going to run down. It's going to take about 2 hours 30 minutes to charge this thing up. It seems like every time I've had this thing over a year now, and it seems like the charging time gets longer, whereas the mowing time gets shorter on these things. And I've only had the thing about a year, and the battery time is already depleting already. So I don't recommend buying this thing if you've got a large yard. If you're in town, maybe a half acre or maybe a 1/4 of an acre, fine. This is okay, but not if you're a contractor. So like I say, if you're a contractor, stay away from this thing unless you got plenty of money and plenty of time. I got my little cats here up under the house here. Okay, back on this weed eater here. This is even worse than a lawnmower. This thing here, like I say, you might get maybe, from what I see, other than what the box says, I might get 30 minutes on a charge on a 2 hour, and it takes about 2 hours and 30 minutes to charge this thing up. If I'm lucky, it'll charge in 2. But that's just not economical. You're gonna sit here and you'll use this, it'll take you 30 minutes to run this thing down at the at the start of you using the thing to trim your hedges and whatever around your fence, and it's aggravating because the thing will run down. Then you got to stop and sit for 2 hours and between 2 hours and 2 hours and 30 minutes, let this thing charge up again. Then you're back at it again for another 30 minutes, and then you're down again for another 2 hours. Like I say, I'm on the 7th charge already, and they hadn't got all this stuff right yet. And I'll show you something, maybe the reason these things are catching fire, because when I put this thing on charge, I'll show you in a minute when I take it out of the bay. But right there at the end of the terminals, it gets hot, and it seems like it's kind of, it might be doing it here, but I'm not sure. You see right there, I don't know if you can see, but the terminals, you'll see it more on the charger itself. So it's like they get hot and it's starting to kind of melt around there. And if I only had this thing maybe, shoot, I only had this thing about 3 or 4 days. And if it's going to do that, I don't recommend getting this, because it could cause a fire. And if another thing is, if you're going to charge it, you need to watch it and pay attention when you charge it up, because it could short out when you charge, but I'm not so sure yet. Like I say, I only had this thing a few days. And like I say, if you're a contractor, don't get this, because man, you're going to have a whole trailer of generators to keep these things charged up while you're on the job, and you probably have to get you a portable building to keep all your, you have to put you some bays in to keep all your chargers so you can keep all your batteries charged up. And I don't know what they do out in California, because they say they're doing away with gas and they want to go all electric. So I don't recommend this thing for a contractor. Now, like I say, just like with a lawnmower over there I was talking about, maybe if you got maybe just a little small yard, maybe if you got 2 or 3 trees, maybe 4, oh, you're fine there. You got something that'll trim around your little hedge there. But right now I'm kind of overdo it even on this yard, because like I say, I'm on my 7th charge that's charging up right now, so I don't really recommend this. But it's all right, like I say, for in town, for a small yard. But like I say, if you got a big yard, no, stick with gas. Okay, I'm in here right now. I put this battery on, oh, maybe coming up on an hour, and we're about, I got an old junk call. Okay, I'm back on this. I had an interruption from some old scam call. It seemed like it's impossible to do anything. It's like if I'm going to make a video or something, I got to put the stupid phone on airplane, because I'll get all them scam calls and they interrupt me, and I'm in the middle of doing something. They're so dang aggravating. Then nobody will answer the phone. It's just, I think what they're doing, they're mirroring my phone and using my number, and they hang up on me. But I'm back on this. Like I say, I'm almost got 2 bars. This thing will have 4 bars fully charged. I've probably been charging this thing maybe an hour now, and this is on the weed eater. But like I say, if you got a small yard, real small, fine, maybe 4 or 5 trees to mow around or trim around, and your trees, and maybe a little hedge or something, or maybe your driveway, it's okay. But that's in town. But if you're out in the country, I don't recommend buying this. You'll be all day, a day and a half mowing your yard, a little half hour. I mean, a half acre, or maybe a acre. It'll take you a day to mow your yard or more using this thing and that lawnmower out there. Lawnmower's okay for in town, but not, I don't recommend it for contractors to use this. But that's about it for now. I'm going to show you that when I get this thing charged up. I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to show you where them terminals get hot. It looks like it's melting. They're trying to melt together, and that's dangerous. So if you charge these things up, make sure you're at home when you're doing the charge, because this thing might catch on fire. And right now, it's pretty, well, it's not real warm. It's kind of warm on the bottom, but right now they got them terminals on there, and they get real hot, and it seems like that's where the heat builds up, right there where your terminals are locked together. So I keep my eye out when I use this thing to charge you lawnmowers and your weed eaters up. I watch these batteries. Okay, I'm still charging up. There's still lights blinking on the second thing here, and light, LED, whatever. Got to get all four of them charged up. It's been doing that a while yet. And it's, let me get up here, 12:49 p.m. now. I'm gonna see how long it takes to charge that thing up. And like I say, it's still on the, I think it's on the second LED blinking. Yes, it's still blinking on that second one. I'm gonna see how long it takes to charge this thing up. By the way, when I put that thing on charge, I believe it was around 11:45 when I started charging this thing up. And look at it where we at now, 12:50. So I'm going to see how long it takes to charge this thing up by this clock here. Okay, it is now almost 2 o'clock, so I'm going to go look at that charge and see if that thing's charged up yet. All right. Well, we're on the last one, and it's almost 2 o'clock. So go figure. I was, what, a little before 11 before I put this thing on charge. It's almost 2, and we're on the last bar right now. So figure out. This is on the weed eater now. Now the lawnmower does a little bit better, but this is on the weed eater. So go figure. Is it worth your time to fool with this mess, or it is not worth your time? I'm going to wait a little bit longer, and occasionally I'm going to look at the clock and take a picture of it and come back here and see. Looks like it might be almost done. So I'm going to come back here in about 15 minutes and take another look at it. Well, I just come back here. I was back here about 15 minutes ago. The thing just went off, and it's charged up. When it charges up, all the lights go off, and it stops blinking. It shows a green light. So it's pretty much all charged up. And it is now 2:17. So it took, I put that thing on charge a little, I'd say around 5 after 12, somewhere around there is when I put this thing. And look at that, it's 2:17 now. So it took about a little over 2 hours to charge that thing up, and that's on the weed eater. And that's just ridiculous. So it's a mess, but I'm gonna go ahead and come on out here and finish this mess up. I'm gonna show you how this thing works a little bit. I'm fixing to put this thing through the real test. All right, I'm gonna pull this battery out of here. It's charged up. Just pull it out just like that. Light goes off. All right, I'm out here with the weed eater. I got the battery here. I'm just gonna take it and slide her in. I'm gonna show you that part where it looks like it's melted. I showed you earlier. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but see that? Look around there where all them terminals has got hot and kind of melted. So I just don't know how long this thing's gonna last. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put this battery in here, and I'm gonna go and cut a little bit and finish up here. Actually, I'm gonna go out there and cut that little bit right there, make me a little path around it to that. And I know them weeds are high, but like I said, I'm gonna put this thing through the test just to see how good this thing will work when I'm finishing up right here. I don't know if you can see, but on this battery, there's the other end of the batteries. You see where there's got a little burnt areas around there. So I just don't know how long this thing is gonna last. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this battery in here. Just take it right here. You line it up here like that and just slide her in. Just snaps in place. All right, I'm gonna put this thing through the test. So I'm gonna open this gate up right here. All I wanna do is just make me a little path from here to here to that right there, because I'm gonna burn that pile here. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here, and that's all I'm gonna do. And I'm pretty much done. But it's kind of hard to do this on camera, but I'm gonna, what you do, start this thing up, you hold this in right here, then you pull your lever down like that right there. Kicks in and let it go, see? It's kind of hard to do this on camera. So see, it's not made for this, but it will cut. But you know what, when you cut stuff high like this here, it's gonna kill that battery. It's gonna do it every time. So pretty much that's about it. I'm gonna cut this thing off. I'm gonna finish this here. All I'm gonna do is make me a path here. I'm gonna make me a path over here. That way I don't step on those snakes. And I'm gonna come out here and burn this stuff later. So that's it for now. Like I say, this is not made for a bunch of yard people that's going out there doing work for a living. But it's just basically made for a small yard or something like that. It probably work for trimming around a few trees. Even this yard right here, is even too big for this. But because like I say, I've been on this thing for 2 days almost. Uh, I say total about 6 or 7 hours I've been on this, having to deal with the charges too. And that's just ridiculous, especially doing little weed eating jobs. You know, I mean, it does pretty good. I mean, I got all around here and all. There. I would say I could just point out right here just a few seconds. I did this here, trimmed around the fence all the way around, and them trees right there, all around the trailer, got it pretty well clean. And I got around these poles here, right here, and I kind of trimmed up around that tree over there. But pretty much, that's 6 hours of work right there, having to deal with the charges and everything, and that's just ridiculous. So, like I say, for a small yard, fine, but for something like this, no. I would not recommend somebody to go out there and use something like that to make a living with. They'll be in the hole, because they'll be wasting so much time waiting on things to charge up. So, it's not really worth that, but for a small yard, yes, it's all right. And like I say, the lawnmower's fine too for a small yard, but doing contractor work, I don't know. I don't know what them lawn care people out there in California do. I just don't have a clue, because they had to go all electric. I feel sorry for them folks. But that's it for now. Talk to you later on another video later. Bye. All right, one more thing on this. When you get where you run out of trim line, you sit there and do this, you might as well go ahead and swap that line out. Because when I turn this thing on, if I can get it, it's hard to do it on camera. But see, when you do that, look at that. That old shit trim line just come off there. That's what I hate about these old things. So here's the problem. You can sit there and use a battery in 30 minutes, but if you got to sit there and change trim line every 15, 20 minutes because it just comes right off, and this is no good. Just throw it on, it's no good. So the thing about it, when you do this, you're not really getting 30 minutes out of this thing. You're really getting about 20. Because if it ain't the battery running down, I got a good battery now. I got about 20 minutes left on this battery. Problem is, trim line runs out. Then I go in there and have to change trim line, get a good 15, 20 minutes of good more trim line on there. Then I get it wound up, get it ready to go. I get running good with the trim line, battery runs down again. Then I gotta go charge the battery up. And it's just a cycle back and forth. Charge the battery up, trim line runs out. Trim line runs out, have to charge the battery up. So this thing here, especially this trimmer, it's only designed to use that 0.95 trim line, the old small stuff, pretty much stuck. Because pretty much when you buy this, what you see is what you get. You can't do like a gas when you swap it out and put something else on there where you get it. So you're stuck. So like I say, battery runs down, charge it up, trim line runs out. Put more on there, battery runs down. I mean, it's constant back and forth. And that's why I've been on this thing for 6 hours trying to mow this yard. Probably more than that. That's just to do the trim work. That's just trimming. Mowing the yard, that's another whole problem. That's another, oh gosh, that's another half a day just mowing the yard. So you figure you're gonna be 2 days on this fooling with this electric stuff. So I recommend, if you in the contractor business, you do this for a living, don't go electric. If you can, don't go electric. You're gonna be in a mess. Not only is it gonna soak up all your time, but you're gonna be sitting here charging banks of batteries all day. You won't never get done. You won't never make a profit. But I'd say this, if you got a small yard, say like in town, say like you live down there in Fort Lauderdale, one of them subdivisions down there, small, you seen them small houses down there, little small stuff, that's probably fine. You know, cut around, trim around a few trees and a little small yard, fine. But something like this, no. Stick with gas, you're better off. So that's it for now. Talk to you later. And by the way, that trim line, when I just come in here and I showed a while ago, I opened the gate and I trimmed this little bit right here. That's when that old trim line run out. And so, as you see, I ain't done nothing but hardly nothing here. So, and I understand this is bigger stuff here, but I was just kind of putting this thing through the test. But you've seen the test. It's crap. I mean, I did this little bit, Then the trim line runs out. I probably got about 20 minutes of battery left on it. Put another trim line on and finish it up. I'm not gonna fool with it. I'm gonna wait the next time. I'm pretty much done for this right now. So that's it for now. And like I say, if you buy this as your own risk. If you got a small yard, fine. But if you, like I say, you trying to do this, make a living, stay away from electric. Stick with gas. Gas is the only way to go. Talk to you later. Bye.